Hey, don't worry, Medea will get seen. Get that out of the way first. That's now replaced. When are you guys gonna go see Shin Godzilla? It didn't come to Springfield.
Really bums me out.
I know, same here. We'll see it eventually. It just never came to Springfield.
I mean, what, it had like a very limited release.
Oh, but we got Kirk Cameron's Revive Us. And Barbie's Starlight Adventure.
You know, you can't always get what you want.
I as well love the Rolling Stones. Been cracking out that Big Chill soundtrack.
You know, yeah.
Where's my Smokey Robinson CDs? I don't know, I get the Big Chill soundtrack. Close enough. So before we get into the movie that we both saw, I'll spend about 5 or 10 minutes talking about the movie I saw earlier. It really worked out that both movies actually turned out really good. Because we were talking last night at Taxi Driver, and I was like, well, there's Ouija and Jack Reacher tomorrow. Which one do you want?
And you know, I was like, whichever one's like earlier or later, like, doesn't matter, just whichever. These are both movies I would have equally have gone to see.
Yeah. It'd been the real bitch if like Ouija turns out really good, but Jack Reacher turns out terrible.
I would have felt really bad, like, yeah, if it had been like, it's like, yeah, put me down for Ouija, and then it sucked, but then I hear from you later, it's like, ah, man, you should have stuck around for Jack Reacher. So good.
And now let me tell you about this horrible decision you made in detail. Spoilers.
Man. Shit.
Ouija is really, really good. And we were talking about this a little bit before Jack Reacher. Like, I'm hard pressed to think of a follow-up movie that is as ridiculously better as Ouija Origin of Evil is than the first one. Like, I know I can think of, like, sequels that are better than the first one, but that the first one is still fine, but the sequel is maybe better.
But
this...
but yeah, I mean, it's like saying, like, well, Empire Strikes Back is a better movie than New Hope, but it's not like New Hope was, like, Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was Empire.
Yeah, no, this is seriously like if Halloween 6 was the first movie and the sequel was John Carpenter's Halloween. Like, that is the radical...
But that's not the order you're supposed to watch.
I always start with 3 first. I feel alright in doing
Legitimately,
that.
There's a case to make that.
Yeah. What's funny about that is the first Halloween movie I saw was the second one, so I felt like I needed some catching up in the first 5 minutes.
It's like, this just jumped right in.
I didn't know until we were talking in the lobby if Ouija Origin of Evil really has anything to do with the other one, other than it being about a Ouija board, of course.
Well, and they, just from the outside perspective, they really bury the lead on that one. I mean, the fact that, yeah, it has a subtitle to it, but you wouldn't know that if you watched any of the promotional material or looked at, like, the posters or anything that all just say Ouija, and that's it.
Oh, a lot of the... Okay. A couple of them I got said the full title. I think to distance... At least they wanted to have some stuff out there to distance itself from the first one. But what I mean, like, is that the events that go on in the movie, and I saw the first one, I saw it when it came out, and watching this, I was thinking, like, I couldn't remember if, like, is the ghosts in this the same ghosts from the first one, or, like, is there something that links the two other than the video game? I didn't know. Honestly, I really didn't care, because it's like, you do not need to see the first one to see this. Like, and you mentioned, like, that there is a...
As far as I know from how I understood it, reading some stuff about it, is, yeah, like, the people in this one are supposed to be, like, the spirits or whatever that are like trying to attack them, and like the first one, like it's, as far as I know, that could be wildly off base, but as far as I know, that's how I understand it.
You don't need to have seen, like, it has as much. You need to see the first one to see this as much as you would need to see, like, fucking Ouija Experiment on Netflix in order to go see this movie.
I have seen that movie twice now.
I was with you the second time you saw it.
I didn't need to see it either time. Still haven't seen the sequel yet. I wonder if it's any...
I wonder if it's drastically better.
I highly doubt it. But who knows, you know, like that first one was on par with like those 1313.
Yeah.
Like, it was everything but being like gay Ouija experiment. So,
yeah.
I mean, it would almost have to be better. I would assume, but I've been wrong before.
We'll have to check it out sometime. Like, this... I can't stress enough how much better the quality of this film is. I really can't. It is like if, like, oh, they released a sequel to The Apparition and it's The Shining. Like, I can't think of where something was just universally panned and hated. And here and then they do another one and they're like, you know what? Let's get actual filmmakers involved this time. That's like, you can tell from frame one that like the difference in quality is huge. Cause the first one is like just this conveyor belt horror movie just churned out into theaters made by nobody. This one, I believe it's the guys who did Oculus did this.
I think that sounds right.
I think so. Like, but looking at it, it's like, oh, they got filmmakers attached to it this time. They got people who like horror movies to make this. Why didn't they do that the first time around? I don't care. I'm still having a really good time.
I'm holding out high hopes now for Lazarus Experiment 2.
Yeah. And it's...
I don't know that that's being made, but at this point, I'm sure that they're like... Let's hire people.
Yeah,
like we hired actors last time. Let's hire people to go with that.
This movie gives hope to sequels to really shitty movies.
It's one of those things that I know that we've talked about once or twice before. Is that like the Conjuring, and by extension, Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
Fantastically made, very, very well done, very good at what they do. Like The Conjuring was legitimately like, it's like, wow, it's not often in this day and age, and especially for us, like, it's like, ooh, that movie actually kind of gets you a couple times.
Yeah.
And I remember saying then, like, it wouldn't be such a bad idea if more filmmakers would take a page from that. I didn't think they were going to take the same page and then just write Ouija at the top of it. But there's something to like I don't know, like I like the idea of horror set in the vague, like 60s, 70s, 80s time frame.
This takes place in 1967.
I mean, granted, a lot of horror films that we grew up on because it was when we were growing up. They all took place in the late 60s, 70s, or 80s.
Yeah.
And so in my head, that's just where horror kind of belongs in a way, because there's not like, the modern conveniences that, it's like, I don't know, like sometimes like I like when a movie just for no reason happens to take place in like 1985. Just for the fact that if for no other thing, like it could take place currently, but there's not like cell phones and internet access. Like it just makes everything that much harder.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the events of like things like Stranger Things.
Yeah. Would
have been way different if it was taking place like right now and they just had like cell phones.
So would this. So would this too. And the lead, it kind of takes place around when people, maybe when they first put out the game, because it seems they're kind of treating it like the game is a new thing in this movie.
I noticed that in one of the trailers, they kind of have them like breaking it out of the box, and it kind of it kind of made me wonder. It's like, so is this like when they? I honestly don't know when they what is it, like Parker Brothers or whoever owns it.
Hasbro, I believe.
I don't know when they originally were putting it out there, but but yeah, it definitely had like the sort of feel like it's like, ooh, what's this? Oh, this is a Ouija board.
Yeah, and it does it really, really cool because like you see and the trailers are really effective. The trailers did sell me on the movie. The trailers do make it look like the plot is they get a Ouija board, the girl plays with it, she gets possessed, and it's like an evil girl movie. And that stuff does happen in it, but it is way more character based than just that. The movie's actually really is paced really well. The mom is played by Elizabeth Reesen, I think is her name. I recognize her from Mad Men. She was the waitress in the last season of Mad Men, and which makes me think like, oh, is she playing the same character? But no, she and the two daughters. The dad's passed away, and they run this psychic. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like a medium,
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, they run that out of their house. So it is kind of cool to see how the different ways they convince these people that it's real, like all the kind of gadgetry that they use and the props and different tools they use to kind of blow out candles at certain moments. It's cool seeing how like them as a unit kind of work together to pull all this off, and then they say like, we're not scammers, like we're doing this for a good purpose to give people closure and things like that. So it's cool seeing them like kind of like look at the bright side of it, or whatever they're telling themselves.
Like, let's put a positive spin on this.
Yeah. So that's neat. And then she gets the Ouija board and actually starts building upon it to make that like that she can control it using magnets underneath the table, and this can be like a new prop that they use whenever they want to like communicate with spirits for people who have come in to talk to, like in this case the movie, the guy's like dead wife at one point. But then the dead father begins like talking to the little girl via the Ouija board, or who she thinks is her father. And it doesn't instantly just jump right into like haunted house, like creepy girl territory.
Because the trailers definitely try to capitalize on
Oh no,
this.
there's
I thought like this was gonna be one of those where it's like yep, that's the whole movie.
No, it really isn't. Like there is a slow build up to this, because the mother starts asking, the girl is communicating with the father, and then the mother is asking questions like that only the father would know. So there's actually a really good debate in the movie between the older daughter and the mother, because the mother is seeing that it's answering these really specific questions and then is believing it, that this is real. And then the older sister is trying to say like, but we're used to all these tricks, and like, so it's neat seeing that role reversed there with this medium who's used to doing tricks and then is kind of...
But then when it's something that she wants to believe in, of course, like, it's like, oh, I'm seeing the letter, the letter M. I talked to my mom yesterday. Boom, nailed it. Told you.
It is cool seeing that. It is. And then when they even start... Once they realize that it actually is possessed, again, it doesn't straight up turn into just like a haunted house horror movie. They want to use it to like their benefit. Like, we're going to bring people in, and this thing actually works and actually can communicate with the dead. She straight up says like, we can now do this for real. So they do start kind of using it with their business, but it turns out like it actually is evil spirits controlling this. It does possess the girl.
We can't have nice things.
Yeah, it does possess the girl, and it does... The girl turns evil and is doing like the walks across the wall and does the scary little girl face in it. But it is effective because it's got a good build up to it. Like you give a shit about like all of these people that are involved. Like even like minor characters have good build-ups. Like there's a priest character in this because they go to Catholic school, and the priest even kind of wants to believe this too because he previously had a dead wife before he became a priest, and that it's interesting seeing all of that, and then them kind of coming terms with like, well, this actually is an evil spirit involved with this situation.
Oh,
The girl is super good in this. Like, she's great. She has this monologue in it where she's talking to the kid, like, let me tell you what it's like to be strangled to death. And it's out of nowhere. And it is chilling.
It's like, I asked how your day was, but I mean, that's cool too.
Yeah, that's more or less how it comes up. Like, the older sister, like, kind of breaks away for like a minute or two, and then the little girl's being creepy towards her love interest. No, they really do milk like the evil girl face a lot in it, where like her mouth is just a gape and like the white eyes.
It's like, oh, creepy ghost face.
Yeah, they do that a lot in this movie, but it does work. It's shot really, really well. So when you see that face off in the distance, just in the darkness, like, I've seen that face a bunch of times in this movie before, but that's still really creepy. The movie, I mean, it's not perfect. There is like stuff in it, like there is like fake out dream sequence in it, but like it does foreshadow something. It does, to give it points at least for kind of foreshadowing something that happens later in the movie. It's still dumb and could have easily been cut out of the movie. Like, you wouldn't have been confused if this like fake dream sequence wasn't in it. So that seemed like a studio note, but this is made by pretty good filmmakers, so they did provide context later on, even if it didn't have to be in the movie.
Yeah.
It is also a film where in like the last 15 minutes, really just about anything can happen. Like, I kind of wasn't sure what the rules were. Sort of like with Lights Out, even though I think this is a far better movie than Lights Out. Lights Out, I had trouble understanding the rules of what was going on.
Yeah, that one, or I mean, to the same extent too, Oculus, from the same people. Like, it's like once you get into like that last little part, it's like yeah, they've been going by set rules so far, and then it's just like fast and loose, just go, throw everything at the screen.
That happens here too. Like, some of it's hard to keep track of. Sometimes I can't. Are they in a spirit world right now? Like, I was having trouble kind of trying to figure out the logic of a lot of stuff I was seeing, but it was still well made. Like, it was still like, you know, decently paced, and like the mood was solid even in the last 15 minutes, even if like it really was bumping up into like climax territory here. Like, yeah, okay, we gotta show all of our tricks and like start rattling the chains in the haunted house and things like that.
It's a race to the finish.
It was, but it was entertaining. Like, there's the part with the boyfriend. There are really good scenes with him and the girl. They have good chemistry. There's a good scene where the mom is like reading the palms on her hand, and she's like, "If you touch my daughter, I'm gonna cut your lifeline short." Like, there's good scenes like that.
Snap.
Yeah, there's good scenes like that involving this character. But when this character, when it's his final moments in the film, spoiler, it's from doing something really stupid. Like, it is. This isn't a bad character. Like, there are really good scenes involving this character in the movie, and the acting is really totally solid from everybody involved. But in order for this character to die the way he does, it involves him doing something no one would have done. Like, it involves him following the little girl into a dark-ass basement, like sticking his hand through a wall. This is after she gave him the monologue about being strangled to death, like a day or two later or something like that. I'm like, bro, come on. Like,
it's like his only crime was being written that he had to die.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he died, because script.
They do a cool thing with his body later on. Like, his body has this kind of funny jump scare, because his body's just like hanging there, but then later on it kind of jumps out. Like, that was kind of effective. Like, it didn't make up for the fact he died in a stupid way. I do wish, you know the part in the trailer where the kid slingshots himself in the face.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good part of the movie, but really when it's in the movie, it's what you see in the trailer. That's not really followed up on at all. The fact that this kid just shot himself in the face with a... like, really, that's kind of the end of that? Is that scene? I would have liked...
And then he put his eye out with that thing.
Yeah, I would have liked a little more of a follow-up to that. And there is, like, a couple of times where the PG-13 kind of hurts it a little bit. There's a part where someone gets their mouth sewn shut, and it is literally bloodless. This was it in the end when there was so much shit going on where I'm really having trouble following, like, what's real and what's the spirit world and why is the sewn mouth bloodless? Alright, PG-13. But, it's not a perfect movie, but it is really solid. Like, it is really entertaining. It is creepy as shit. Like, it is first and foremost about, building up these characters, really giving them a story, giving them personality, giving them a reason for doing everything they're doing in a really non-predictable way. So it is a very, very effective movie. So I definitely do recommend, the movie. I think you're gonna see it. Now watch the first one first, you'll be lost.
Well, yeah, see, I gotta play catch up.
Did you see the first one?
I thought about it a couple times, and then I remember that it was pretty much
dog
universally panned.
Yeah.
And then I didn't.
Yeah, the first...
And then I watched Ouija Experiment again.
The good one. Honestly, man, gun to my head, I don't know which one I would fucking rather watch. Ouija Experiment or the one that was... Honestly, Ouija Experiment was probably easier to at least talk during. The one that was theatrical, the one from a couple of years ago, God, fuck that. That was... It's... Again, like I said, I'm hard-pressed to think of something that was so universally bottom of fucking Rotten Tomatoes panned. And then last I checked, this one's got like a 90.
Jesus.
No, it is, like I said, like... It's not just me. Like, this is a really solid movie. I know. I'm having trouble, too.
There has to be something. I can't fucking think of it.
Uh-huh. I hope it does well. I hope the movie does really well. Maybe... Because studios are looking for a new franchise in terms of horror movies. Maybe they figured, like... Let's just try again, only this time let's make it good.
Let's actually try this.
Yeah, then maybe we can get a franchise out of this. It's Halloween. It's a solid, scary movie to go see. It's one of the better horror movies I've seen this year. It's not a perfect movie, but where it counts, in terms of character, plot, filmmaking, whether it's creepy or scary, it does all those things, and it does it well.
But is it better than the Witchboard movies?
Well, it's been a while since I've seen those. I need to go back and revisit them. There was one of the Slumber Party Massacre movies that used, or maybe it was Last Slumber Party, I can't remember, where they used a Ouija board and they used it with cut up pieces of paper and a shot glass. Shot glass flew against the wall. Ah!
Trying to think, which one of the Amityville movies was that? Was that Amityville 3?
Fuck.
Because I think it was the one with Meg Ryan.
Oh, that's 3.
So yeah.
Okay.
We're like...
Yeah.
Yeah, except like instead of like the planchet, she's using like a wine glass or something.
Yeah, alright, yeah. I remember that.
I think they don't call it a Ouija board, they call it like an angel board or something.
Of course. It's the Amityville board.
Get out.
Well, so yeah, my final thought on this, I recommend it. Go check it out.